exciting La Liga season we have in store as Lewandowski signs for Barcelona. Can he shoot them to the title, or will it be Real Madrid? We're going to take a look at it, all of it, next. Today we're going to predict the outcome of the 2022-2023 La Liga campaign. Who's going to be champions? Who's going to get relegated to the Segunda Division? We'll take a look at it, all of it, in a minute. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. And of course, if you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe button back up to all things La Liga related, Black and Rose related, world football related. We're going to all hit boys under one rooski. Of course, Lewandowski are stealing the headlines for Barcelona, a revamped Barcelona, as they try to get into the deep end here and win the title from the clutches of Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and Sevilla. Can they do it? We'll take a look at it right here, right now. So let's jump in the deep end then, shall we? Of course, make sure you smash your subscribe if you're new. But this is it. This is the format we're going to predict from around about 11th down, all the way to the drop zone, and from 10th to the top, who's going to be becoming Champions of España. Alright then folks, let's take a little look at 11th spot. For me, it's going to be Valencia, that's right. Of course, Valencia now under the managerialship of Gennaro Gattuso, taking over the reins in the 9th of June. Of course, taking over from Jose Bordalas, who did actually get Valencia into top 10 material, 9th, of course, last season. But for me, Gattuso comes in, of course, taking over the reins. New appointments, always a little bit difficult, and especially for a team of Valencia who are looking for a rebound, a response, to, of course, get himself back into that top 6 spot. For me, it's not going to happen with Gattuso in charge. It's a new manager. You should always give him a season of grace, a season of transition. But will he get that? I don't think he'll get that. I think Valencia are going to be a little bit demanding and want Gattuso to come in and push for top 6, top 8 for this campaign. Ain't going to happen though for me. As for the bookies, we'll give you the bookies right here, right now. Valencia are primed at around about, where are we? They're around about 250 to 1. So around about mid-test. Pretty much spot on, Durkee boy. Did pretty good there. 251 to go the title. But yeah, mid-table obscurity for me. Valencia degraded 2 spots from 9th last time around. Next up, of course, we have 12th spot Getafe. Getafe last season finishing in 15th spot. Bit of a season progression for them. 251, same odds as Valencia. So around about middle of the pack once again. So Dirk's doing his own work. Of course, Quinche Sanchez Flores is El manager these days with Denji. Your Capitano for Getafe. Season. They've been decent over the past 4 or 5 seasons. You know, top 10, they've even flirted with Europe, but they always have a season of wobble, kind of like Blackburn Rovers in the past in the Championship. You know, they do all right, and then they have a shit bit of the season, and they kind of trail off. So that's what Getafe have done, and they always seem to bounce back towards the end of the campaign. I do see the similar sort of stuff going on here. Again, season of progress though, 15th last time around, 12th this time around, moving forward, slowly moving the change, but nothing crazy into 12th. So into 13th spot, Rayo Vallecano, of course, pretty much as you were. Yeah, 12th spot last season, 13 this season, of course. Change of manager, no. Andoni Arialo is the main man. Oscar Trejo is El Capitan, of course. Vallecano, actually odds of 500 to 1. They're around about 6th from bottom. I've got them a little bit better than that, but they had a great start to the campaign last season. They were even flirting with Europe for a little bit, but it all fell off towards the back end. 12th last time around, 13th for me, pretty much as you were. Nothing crazy going on for them. Into 14th spot, we have Valladolid, of course, coming back from a Segunda Division, 2nd last time around. They are tipped to go straight back, well, pretty much in that relegation zone. 501 for them. For me, though, I've got them, not for me, no, but for me, I do see them doing a little bit better than that. Pacheta is your gaffer there. Jody Massip, of course, is the captain for Valladolid. The odds of 501 around about the same as Osasuna and Vallecano as well. So, you know, they could surprise us, they could falter us, but they are back once again in the top flight. In space of 14 for me, of course, 2nd last around in the Segunda Division. Into 15th spot, we have Mallorca. Mallorca finished in 16th last time around, so pretty much as you were. They're actually tipped to go down. One of the 3 teams to go down from the bookies odds are, I'm looking at right now, 1,000 to 1. Of course, they're happy just to be here, I imagine. Of course, 2nd second season syndrome, though. Javier Aguirre, the Mexican, has got to do it all for Mallorca if he can. Igneo Ruiz de Galaneta, El Capitan for Mallorca. But where were they last? 16th, last time 15th, of course. Steady progress for me. And again, there's a lot of uncertainties here in Syria, in La Liga, with a lot of teams that could get sucked into relegation zone and of course mid-table obscurity. The division is so split. Of course, you have the Power Four, and then you have the rest up to about 10th, 11th, and then you have the rest of the chasing pack, like 8 teams that could realistically go down. And Mallorca are one of those teams. There's no question about that. They will struggle. They will compete. They will fight, though. I think they'll hang on here for me. 15th spot for Mallorca. Into 16th spot, we have another new boy. Almeria finished in first last time around. Of course, coming at you with a manager, who's his name? Ruby, of course. Cesar de la Hoz is El Capitan, of course. Almeria tipped to do okay here. 501 mid-table for them. I've got them hanging on in there into 16th spot. A little bit better than, and actually a little bit worse than Valladolid, who of course have been in the top flight in recent years. So they should hopefully have the personnel that has played in the top flight before. Almeria, though, for me, is a newish name because I've only been covering it for about 5 years. So they may have been there at the start, but it's been a while since they were back in the top flight. Finishing top, though, last time around, that will give them some credit, but usually they'll have a wobble there or thereabouts. So for me, 501 for Almeria is about right. They'll stick around. They'll survive. They'll survive, but only just in a very, very tight relegation battle. Moving on to 17th spot, we have Girona, of course, another new team. They actually finished in 6th, but of course made their way through the playoffs into the trapdoor and into the Premier League. Girona are tipped to go straight back down 1001, of course, alongside Cadiz and Mallorca. But for me, I have Mallorca surviving, I have Girona surviving, which of course would mean I've got all 3 of the promoted sides hanging on for a second season. So we're going to have an old change, I imagine, in the top flight here. Michel is the manager there for Girona. Christian Stuani, of course, a captain for Girona, of course, formerly of Middlesbrough, I believe, way back when. So Girona, of course, hoping to do much better than 6th, but of course anticipate to struggle. And I do see them in or around about the relegation battle. They could easily go down, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and hang on for dear life. Into 18th spot, there we go. It is Osasuna. Been here for a while now. 10th last time around. I've got a massive drop all the way down to 18th. Tipped to do okay. 501 to go to lift the title, but tipped around about what, 6th favourite to go down, or 5th favourite alongside Valladolid, Vallecano, Almeria as well. So they're in that sort of category. So they could have a great season like last season. 10th spot, all the way down, dropping of 8 spots. So it is crazy. But I do think they're about due now. They're about due to be sucked into it. Jagore Ariaste as your manager there, Roberto Torres as your captain. Can they do the great escape once again? I don't think so. Into 19th spot, we have Cadiz, of course, hung on by the skin of the teeth last season. 17th, of course, just ousting Granada, Levante and Alaves, of course, who have gone down to Segunda Division. But Cadiz anticipated to struggle. They are one of the third favourites to go down 1001. Of course, managed by these days still Sergio, of course, Jose Maria, the captain for Cadiz. They won't stick around for another season. There was been 2 seasons for Cadiz, but this will be it. Third season syndrome going down to 20th spot. Now we have also joining Cadiz will be Elche. Elche, of course, managed by Francisco, of course, captained by Gonzalo Verdu. They anticipated to struggle, I imagine, by the bookies. 750 to 1, of course, fantastic campaign last time around. 13th, of course, major dropping off the face of the earth. But of course, the likes of Girona, Almeria, and Valladolid coming up from the second tier will provide that fight, will provide that difference. And like I said, there was 8 teams that could get sucked into it. It's easy peasy. And of course, unfortunately, I see Elche, Cadiz, and Osasuna gonna go down. Into the top half, we're gonna go now. Ain't no mucking about. We're gonna take a look at the top 10, starting right smack dab in the middle with Espanyol. Espanyol coming at you. Of course, where were they last season? Of course, fantastic season. 14th for them. First season back, was it? First season back. I'm trying to imagine. Yeah, 14th. Of course, 250 to 1 to go the distance. Of course, they're around about 10th. Around about the same as Getafe, same as Valencia as well, of course. Matey boy Diego Martinez taking over the reins on the 31st of May, taking over from Luis Blanco, who was the caretaker at the back end of the campaign. But of course, a strong season for them. First season back. I'm trying to imagine that was the first season back, right? 14th spot, and again a progression to 10th is good business. But of course, for them, top 10 will be great. Moving forward, get the chains moving, and maybe they could put a push for Europe in the seasons following on from this. But for me, a 10th spot for Espanyol will be okay. free progress and moving in the right direction. Into ninth now we have Celta Vigo. Celta Vigo, of course, were doing so well last season. We're competing for Europe for a long part of it, but ultimately ended up as 11th spot. So for me, a progression of 2 spots. Eduardo Cure is your manager there for Celta Vigo. Hugo Malo, El Capitano. Celta Vigo current odds at 250 to 1. Around about 9th, 8th favourites, of course, depending on where you look, 10th favourites maybe. In a cluster of teams of Valencia, Getafe, Espanyol, around about 250 to 1. So in around about the ballpark of where they're at. So it's a progression of 2 places. They want to be competing for Europe. That's just shy of that. For me, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Top end, top half, but just outside Europe. Celta Vigo into 9th. Into 8th spot we are going to go, and it'll be Real Betis. Bit of a degrade of 5th spot, of course, just outside the Europe Champions League spots last time around. They are around about 7th favourites to get up there, and this will be a bit of a surprise. It might even cost Manuel Pellegrini his job. Joaquim is still the manager. I think he's going to be back around for another season. They will be competing in Europe. They will be competing in the Europa League and hoping to better, or at least do a Frankfurt and maybe sneak in the trapdoor of the Champions League that way. Of course, that seems to be the only way right now. With the Power Four seem to be set in stone at the moment. So Real Betis in 8th spot, but they'll not really. They won't take that. They won't take that. But for me, there are about 3 or 4 teams better than them to take that 4th spot. You know what I mean? So it's tight, airtight. The bookies have Betis though. Around about 7th spot for them. But I'm going to go for that for me. Into 7th spot we have Athletic Bilbao. That's right, finishing 8th last time around. Of course, who did they have as manager? It was a big movement. Valverde, great manager, great appointment coming in. Ike Munian, of course, El Capitano. I think this is going to be a great bit of business for them. They finished in 8th last time around. It is only one position better off, but they might be better. It might actually go around about 6th, but there or thereabouts. Valverde there, formerly of Barcelona. Am I right? I think so. He was there for a little bit. And he was also back at Bilbao way back when. So he's been there, seen it and done it. Veteran manager, 58 years of age, hoping to bring back the glory days. There's tip to do around about 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th. So on the money, 150 to 1 to go the distance. Into 6th spot will be my boys, Real Sociedad. 6th last time around, 6th this time around. And of course, they're around about 6th favourite in the bookies, 50 to 1 as well. So about right, really. Can't really complain. I would like them to push for Champions League at some stage, but it ain't going to happen at the moment. Iman Alukagarche is your manager there. Asi Amamarabadi is El Capitano. Of course, easy for you to say, right? Right, that's right. So 6th spot for me will be Sociedad, no major threat. Into 5th spot now we go. Villarreal, back to business. Of course, 7th last time around. Of course, doing the business. Unai Emery still here. Of course, been linked with a lot of jobs in recent years, but stuck to his guns and hoping to steer them to a better season than it was last season, which was of course 7th. The bookies have them around about 5th, so I'm on point at that 40 to 1 for them to go the distance. And of course the Power 4, it's going to come at you right here right now. So here we go then, Power 4, and again there is a bit of a spice in this Power 4, so let's get into it and have a look. Into 4th spot I have Sevilla, no surprise there, of course finishing 4th last time around, 4th favourites in the bookies, that's 60 to 1, and 4th in my eyes. Still with matey boy as manager, Lopeteglu, of course Jesus Navas, El Capitano of course, and Sevilla are there or thereabouts. They're always going to be there, they're always going to be causing problems, taking points off the Power 3 here, and maybe breaking into the Power 3. It's going to be quite tight, quite awkward this season. A bit of a transition, I think, or change of power, or change of dominance once again in the top flight in Spain. But unfortunately, Sevilla will just be a bit part player in that and be 4th at the end of the campaign. The odds for them 16 to 1 to go the distance. They ain't going to go there though. It's a 3rd spot. I have Atletico Madrid. Now this is dependent on a couple of things. I do think there is a recent link right now linking Cristiano Ronaldo to Atletico Madrid. If that was to happen, then I'm going to push Atletico Madrid closer to the title, 2nd, or at least maybe even going the distance. Of course, Simeone had a bit of a wobble last season. Still there though, of course. Got them Champions League football into 3rd. Did the bare minimum. Koke, of course, still El Capitano. But if they are to pull off the greatest or the signing of the season in my eyes, Cristiano Ronaldo back to La Liga, that will be a game changer for them. It will be a game changer for them in the Champions League. It will be a game changer for them in, of course, La Liga title as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Right now, it's anybody's guess. Sporting a link with them now. It's gone down to the next best bunch of teams that are there. Could it be Atletico? Could it be a Bayern? Could it be a Sporting Lisbon that sign him? Someone's got to sign him. Somebody in the Champions League has to sign him. That's probably the minimum requirement. And Atletico Madrid, if they pull it off, great bit of business for them. And welcome back to Madrid. But the other side. Into 2nd spot we go. I'll give you the odds. The odds for them are actually 11 to 2. I'm actually going to go with, I'm going to give you both of them. I'm actually going to tip Barcelona for the title. The signing I was on the fence. I was thinking about Madrid, but until they sealed the deal and Lewandowski signed on the dotted line, that was the benchmark for me. That was the difference maker. That was the game changer, and it's going to be a key part in their arsenal, whether it is Champions League, whether it is the title race, whatever. Aubameyang, Lewandowski, plus the whole plethora of players that have been brought in. What I don't get is how they're pulling this off. They've got no money. They're in debt up to the yin yang, but they're making signings left, right, and centre. It's not just Lewandowski and that's it. Then they're moving on to the next one, the next target. And they're trying to keep a hold of other folks as well. So a good bit of business for them. Great bit of business really for the division. It is a benchmark signing. It's probably one of the signings of the season. He is 32. I understand and a chunk of change, but he's probably got another 4 years left in him at the top flight, and I do anticipate him to be there or thereabouts for Barcelona at the end of the for the next 3 or 4 years, bringing in the bling as well. Real Madrid, of course, not really. Have they been? Of course, they missed out on Mbappe, which would have been a difference maker. It's pretty much keeping a hold of what they've got: the Benzema's, the Vinicius Juniors, that sort of stuff, and of course Carlo Ancelotti. And again, if they'll be content with second spot plus another run at the Champions League. But all in all, it's going to be a spicy season. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, you guys are too. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about this one. Do you think you agree with me with Barcelona? Do you agree with me with the three of the teams that are going to go down? What about my shocker there? Betis all the way down into 8th. Shocker Rooney. Let me know your thoughts. I'm interested, of course, as we look forward to the start of the season. Real Madrid are actually favoured still, 11-10 by the bookies, 11-8 to Barcelona. It's quite tight though. It makes it a spicy season because last season Barcelona were lucky to finishing in second, of course. But for me, that's the picks. That's the take. So then, boys and girls, we'll be covering, of course, La Liga in extensive detail, of course, predictions week in, week out, maybe even the occasional watch along. But until then, girls, we are out of here.